You follow these accomplished jazz and blues artists for a day, you realize they've lived amazing lives full of great stories. Then you read about them on the web and you see these massive discographies and decades of touring history, everywhere from these huge arenas down to tiny clubs. And you learn how many of them, in spite of such enduring contributions to the multi-billion-dollar music industry, are just barely getting by today. The Music Never Dies is a documentary looking into a select group of New Orleans and New York-based jazz musicians with all of these massive rock and pop songwriting credits on noteworthy albums, and how they live today, in some cases unable to make a basic living. The film is now on IndieGoGo to raise $33,000 to tell the stories of some names in jazz and blues music that in several cases shaped what became rock and roll and never had their names recognized to any great degree. If you've ever watched documentaries like 20 Feet from Stardom, the great thing about them is that they give you a sense that there's kind of an official story of an album, a song, or even a lyric that we've all had in our heads for years, and then we get to hear about it from the standpoint of someone not quite at center stage, someone who never had a platform to give their take on how these moments in cultural history looked from another perspective. And you realize once again that throughout our culture, there's more than one side to every story. Have a look at a segment of our trailer.
Jimmy Norman. Now there's a story. Musician, singer-songwriter, producer. He's done it all. He's written some of jazz and rock and roll's greatest hits. Yet, like me, you've probably never heard of him.
I came on the road with my record, watching the Rolling Stones version go up the charts.
Right.
You know, and I just kept climbing. I went to BMI. They didn't even know who I was.
You heard correctly. BMI, responsible for collecting royalties and paying musicians, didn't know who Jimmy was.
I just read Mick Jagger's biography. It's over 600 pages. Jimmy Norman's name is not in it. The book's got plenty to say about everyone from groupies to roadies to the lawyers of ex-wives, but the guy who wrote one of the Stones' first hits on American radio, not so much. Well, Edward Hillel, the director of our film, and I now aim through the funds that we raised through IndieGoGo to bring you the stories of a few of these remarkable musicians and widen their international audiences by taking them on a 2-week tour overseas to countries where people know their music through record sales and radio, but not the people who made it. That being said, we've got a bridge to cross now to get the remainder of our film shot and to get the tour launched. Most of our campaign perks will be connected to both Edward and I being photographers. I was actually producing and doing still photography for a film company in LA when we met, so we'll be offering limited edition prints of the best shots we've taken so far, as well as the ones still to come. Do drop by our website, musicneverdiesmovie.com, to see a few that we've taken already and to learn more about all of us, including Jimmy Norman and some of the legendary musicians who we've interviewed who have passed during the making of this film. On Twitter, we are @NeverDiesMovie, and on Facebook, simply facebook.com/TheMusicNeverDies. That said, we'll keep you posted. Thank you for watching this far and for your efforts to share this project with anyone else you think would like to help these musicians get their due.